What's up, people? Arsacourse here, coming at you with another Rogue Company video. Today, I'm going to be going over the weapon tier list. This is just my opinion. Obviously, these guns are probably going to change and move around because the game is still early on, so some stuff is going to change. If you disagree with anything on the tier list, make sure to put it down in the comments respectfully and give your rationale behind it so we can have that conversation. Now, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So I have my notes here. I'm going to read through each actual tier here, and I'm going to give my rationale for them. So we're going to start off with the D tier. So this is Vi's tactical shotgun, the S12. The upgrades are you get the magazine size, the hip fire, and then the damage at range. None of these are really going to help this gun though. You should never be using this over Vi's Nightshade because it's such a solid weapon. That one you will see I have up in the A tier. We'll talk about that. But this shotgun is trash. It's not going to outplay any other shotgun. Like all the big boy shotguns are going to just almost one tap you. And this one just doesn't compete, and it's not going to compete with SMGs or ARs. So all in all, this auto shotgun is terrible, and that leads me right into the second item in the D tier, and that is Lancer's auto shotgun, which is the Striker 8x10, which is the same thing, right? I'll go over the upgrades real quick. You get the damage at range, you get hip fire accuracy, and then you get the magazine size, but the shotgun is still trash. It's not going to be able to compete with any other shotgun, or it's not going to be able to trade with anybody unless they're just terrible. So that's my D tier, and I promise you the rest of my review about this isn't going to be as negative. These are just really bad guns. I don't recommend anybody use these right now unless you're just trying to meme. You know, if you're trying to make a funny video, by all means do it. If you're trying to seriously win, these aren't the guns to do it, chief. Now the C tier, B tier, and on up, I have some better opinions. So let's go ahead and move to the C tier. The first gun that I have in the C tier is going to be the Aron C212. This is an okay gun, but realistically, you're probably not playing Phantom for this gun. So the upgrades are you get a increased mag size, you get the reload speed, and the third tier, which you have to take if you're using this gun, you get the no damage drop off. This is what makes the gun useful. Without that, you're going to be hitting like 18 for a body shot or something around there. So if you're not taking that third tier, don't take the gun because you'll be doing doo-doo damage. Also, if you're gonna be playing Phantom, just use the sniper. I mean, the headshots are nasty. That's all I can say about that. The gun is okay, but it's definitely on the lower tiers right now, especially for the DMRs. The next gun we have here is the Devotion. That is Dallas's gun. This one is not terrible, but it's definitely at the bottom here. The perks you get here are going to be the bullet pin. You get the increased magazine size and reload speed. And then you get the no damage drop off, which is cool. It has high body damage, sitting at like 45, but it's super slow to fire, really slow. I'm pretty sure this is the slowest gun in the game. If you hit headshots, it's nasty, but realistically, you're not going to be able to trade with anybody. SMGs, other ARs, any other DMR is probably going to beat you if the person is hitting their shots. This gun I think needs a little bit of love. But once we figure out what this bullet penetration does, maybe we'll understand how to use the gun a little bit better. As of right now, though, I don't really see its effects. So for now, I'm going to put this gun in C, and maybe it'll pop up to B or A once we figure out how to best use the weapon. So starting out in the B tier, this is where we start to get to those you know, middle of the pack type guns. We get the D40C. This is Shaq's gun. The upgrades gives you the hip fire accuracy, damage at range, and reduced recoil. The gun has a crazy rate of fire, like it really shreds, and the damage is a little bit lower to balance that out. Great for aggressive type gameplay, great for Shaqs, right? You can rush people with the flashbangs and then shred them down before they even get out of that blind spot or whatever. So it's very good in that sense, but it's definitely not the strongest SMG right now. Like if you're going to get somebody with an SMG and they're not blind, like you're just trading shot for shot, you'll probably lose to those other SMGs. And we'll talk about that as I get to A and S tier. But a fair weapon, I definitely say you won't be at a severe disadvantage like overall in the game if you're using this weapon. The next gun we have here is the Arbitrator. This is Anvil's gun. Upgrading gives you the reload speed, hip fire accuracy, and less bloom. And then you get more damage at the tier 3. So not a bad weapon at all. The upgrades are pretty good. It isn't great for like 2v1ing though, or 1v2ing I should say. Like, you can one tap somebody for sure, but that other person is going to gun you down. So this is one of those guns where like you throw down your barricade and you kind of poke and shoot, because you will get a little extra damage at range. Obviously, it's still a shotgun, and if people are stupid enough to run up to you, you know, you can probably make some plays. But it's definitely not the strongest shotgun in the game, and it's not great for those ranged engagements, right? It's good for like locking stuff down, and that's why I put it down in the B tier, because it's very limited in a way, and it's on a character that isn't really going to be safely running up to your face, right? So yeah, it's definitely a B tier gun. Not bad at all though. Using anvil correctly, this can be very powerful. My third B tier gun here is going to be the D3D. This is Talon's weapon right here, his DMR. It's not bad at all. You get the increased mag, you get the hip fire, reduced bloom, you get the better handling as you upgrade the gun. So it's not bad. It has high body damage, 3-shot kills pretty much, or 2 headshot kill. So not bad, and it has a decent fire rate, unlike the, you know, Dallas's DMR. So you actually feel like you can shoot some people down. Now here's the thing with that though. It's probably not going to trade well with like SMGs and maybe even some faster ARs, because you have to like get the jump on some people, or you have to hit the headshot, or people are probably going to take you out in those trades unless you're like doing it from cover. So just keep that in mind. It is a good gun, but it has its limitations. This fares it fares well with Talon, because he can actually like throw his dart, see where people are, get into cover, and really suppress an area, right? Really hold a spot down. So if you use it correctly, it can be very powerful, but like I said, it definitely has its limitations. The next gun I have on my list here is an AR, the Mark IV, or the MLX Mark IV. This is Saint's weapon right here, or one of Saint's weapons. So as you upgrade it, you get the increased mag size, reduced recoil, and then you increase damage at range and suppresses firing. It's fair body damage, it does 20, and it has a slower fire rate, but it's not terrible. It's good if you want to be a bit more of like a spray and pray, right? You kind of want to sit back, spray people down, do that covering fire, especially, you know, if somebody goes down, you can throw your drone over there and then you can kind of suppress them. So it's not bad in that sense, but we're going to talk about the Mamba here pretty soon. It's just an overall better weapon in my opinion. So I see that the Mark IV has its place in the game, but compared to the other guns you can use, I would pass on this one. Another thing to note too is that you can't shoulder swap with this gun. Maybe that's a glitch in the game right now, but as of now, you can't shoulder swap. So it's harder to get those angles with the Mark IV as well. So that's something to keep in mind, because angles are such a big deal in this game. Next up on my list here is going to be another Talon weapon. This is the LMPX. There we go. So as you upgrade this gun, you're going to increase your mag size, damage at range, and your ADS accuracy, which most people I think would probably skip. You get 16 body damage and a fairly good fire rate. Actually, fire rate is pretty fast. The thing to note is that you actually increase your handling as well when you upgrade that first tier. It's a nice little glitch. Maybe they'll take that out, but keep that in mind. You will get increased handling as well. The reason I put this gun in B tier and it just missed A tier is because it's probably going to lose trades with these other SMGs that are going to be coming up here, because the fire rate is a little bit slower. So it's going to lose some of those fights, assuming that both people are hitting their shots, right? Now, if you're hitting all your shots and somebody's missing half their shots, then it doesn't count. But we're assuming that both players are equally competent. You're going to lose out on some. So that's why I put this in B tier. Now let's go ahead and move up to the A tier and talk about some of these top tier guns in the game and why I think they're there. So jumping into the A tier, I have the 24S, which is Lancer's SMG. This is a great SMG all around. It's definitely not an S tier gun, and when I show you the S tier, you'll know why it's there. But it deals pretty good body damage. It has a high fire rate. As you upgrade it, you get increased magazine. You get hip fire accuracy. It's a shredder, really. The reason I don't have a lot to say about this gun though is because playing Lancer seems very weird right now, because she's just not in a great place. There's heroes that just do it so much better than her right now, but her SMG is very good, and if you are going to play her, make sure you're using this over the shotgun, because this gun does shred. The next gun we have here is another AR. This is the HRM30KS. This is Dallas's other weapon. So as you upgrade, you're going to get the damage at range, you're going to get the hip fire accuracy, and that suppressing fire and recoil. So not bad. A better weapon choice for Dallas than the Devotion for sure. Good damage at 24 for a body shot, but it is a slower AR. So I think arguably the slowest AR in the game. But if you hit those headshots, it shreds. It's good for like contesting points and controlling points. You're probably going to lose to SMG's close range. Keep that in mind, unless you're just like dinking those headshots. But all in all, it's a very good gun, a very solid choice. And if you have to choose between this and the Devotion, it's definitely just miles above the Devotion. Next gun I have on the A tier is going to be the KA-30. This is Dima's weapon here. As you upgrade, you get increased mag size, the hip fire, and then you get to maintain damage at range. The body shot damage is pretty good, sitting at 19. It works great like at suppressing people, kind of that spray and pray, because it does have a pretty good rate of fire. The range is decent on it as well. You can really poke some people out, really keep some people back, you know, help your team out in that way. And all in all, it's a fair weapon. I struggled putting this one B and A, but ultimately I went with A because it does a lot of things right and it doesn't have a lot of cons to it. So I went ahead and put this as A because as far as the ARs go, it is one of the better ARs in my opinion. So that one may be a little controversial in the comments, but that's all good. The next gun I have on the list here is the MLK Maw. This is Anvil's gun right here. This is an interesting one because I struggled putting this one in S or A. So basically you get the increased mag, you get the increased movement speed while aiming down sights. You get damage at range and reduced cooldown and bloom. So you get a lot of stuff as you upgrade this weapon, and it makes it fairly good. It does decent body damage, but it has a very high fire rate. So considering the fire rate, like a 16 body damage isn't bad at all. This is kind of like a mix between an AR and an SMG. It's like an AR and an SMG had a baby, and then you got this huge ball monstrosity. The recoil takes some getting used to, but if you can hit the shots with it, especially if you're like close to mid-ish range, you can really shred some people, and it's going to be the difference between like good players and mediocre players. Good players are going to be able to really capitalize on this gun right now, whereas the more casual players are probably not going to see this gun as been very good unless you're just spraying people down maybe. But this one right here is interesting. I put it A tier, but I can definitely see a really good player having this up at S tier. It works well with Anvil. It works well with his barricade and being able to suppress and hold a point, especially considering that he has C4 and all those other things in his arsenal. Very top tier weapon right here. The next gun in our A tier is going to be the Nightshade. This is Vi's weapon. This is a incredible weapon, actually. I really love this one. So as you're leveling up, you're going to get the mag size increase, the hip fire accuracy, and then the bloom reduction, and then damage at range. So you get a couple of things here which are pretty good. You also have a pretty good body damage considering that the fire rate is 10. So you're doing good damage per shot at a fairly high clip. Another thing to know, there's pretty much no recoil in this gun. So it's so smooth shooting. I really love this. It works well with her kit as well. As you don't know, Vi is like very good at defending. You can play her as an attacker or aggressive, but holding a point, I think she shines probably more than anybody. Like maybe her, Anvil, Trench, they're those three that are really up there, but Vi is nasty. Great all in all. This is a solid weapon. For some people, they may even want to put this gun up in S tier. I say that you will probably lose trades to SMGs, but other than that, like at close range, but other than that, it's a solid gun all in all. The last gun that we're going to have here in the A tier is going to be the SKL6. This is Shaq's shotgun. So as you're upgrading this, you're going to get increased mag size, you're going to get increased damage at range, and you're going to get the hip fire accuracy. So not bad. This shotgun makes it the A tier because it can deal crazy damage. And it's good for people who like to be in the enemy's face. Like this works so well with Shax because, as I said with the SMG earlier, he's able to throw those flashbangs, get into your face, and if you can hit those headshots, you can do 120 damage, 130 damage. You can basically one-tap somebody even if they have Headstrong on. This shotgun is, in my opinion, the strongest shotgun in the game. Now, maybe I need to do some more work with the Arbiter, and maybe it is. But as of now, this gun right here is a one-tapper, even with Headstrong. So it has its place in the game, definitely. Now, I know some people aren't going to like this, but we're going to go up here to the S tier, the top guns in the game, and we're going to start it off with the Sniper, that LR-15 full body. Now, I know some people probably like the Sniper's A tier, B tier. The Sniper is an S tier weapon. So this is Phantom's weapon. As you're increasing it, you get the mag size, you get increased scope speed and reduced recoil. And the last one you don't really need. It's like a damage drop off. That's what it is. You don't need that. Don't ever take that. Instead of doing that, what you need to do is just go ahead and upgrade your pistol, because if you do hit a body shot, you can just swap to the pistol. Bang, they're dead. Also, just a note, it's an 80 body shot. That's why I say hit him with the 80 body shot, switch to the pistol. So very good in that sense. The reason I say this is S tier is because I assume that if you take the Sniper character, you can snipe. And the gun itself has the potential to completely change the flow of a fight to easy 1v4 if people, you know, just aren't the best players, or if you just are a nasty sniper, right? It has that potential. You hit the headshot, 140 damage, they're down. So in my opinion, this is a S tier weapon right here. The next gun we have here is one of my favorite guns in the game. This is the DMR, the Mamba. This is Dima and Saint both have this gun. As you upgrade it, you get increased mag size, you get the reduced recoil and better accuracy, and then you get more damage at range. So this gun right here is that 3 burst, right at mid range with a decent fire rate. The hip fire is a little weak until you get that second tier, basically until you upgrade it. But once you get that, it's even fair at hip firing. This right here, if you hit all 3 of those bursts, you're just knocking people out. Like it's so strong if you have that aim, right? And I think that's why a lot of people may stray away from this gun. They may go with the more spray and pray type guns. But if you can hit your shots, the Mamba is going to destroy people, like for real. Another thing to note too is even at close range, like you can outplay some SMG peoples, especially if they panic or if they don't get those first couple of shots. Because if you hit fire and you hit some headshots, they're going to go down so fast. So obviously it's not meant for that. It's meant for that more mid-range type engagements. But it's such a good gun overall. If you haven't tried it, I implore you to give it a shot. It's nasty. The next gun we have here is another DMR. This is the MXR. This is Trench's weapon. Trench is so nasty, by the way. So this right here, as you upgrade it, you get increased mag size, you get increased damage at range, and suppressing fire and reduces recoil. So basically, this is one of the strongest guns in the game. You have that 32 body if you have the range, right? That's why I say that damage at range. If you get that perk, you're going to be hitting people at a pretty good range for 32 instead of like 22 or 20. And that's big boy damage right there. That is going to really help suppress the enemy team's whole point, because they know that 4 body shots, they're dead. And if one of those shots is a headshot, that goes down to 3 shots and you're done. So very powerful. If you pair that well with Trench's kit, he's so good at holding a point and just keeping those people at bay and even picking people off, really. If you let Trench get set up, you're going to be in trouble, because this is one of the most powerful guns in the game right now. The last gun in the game, and what I think is the most powerful gun in the game, like pound for pound, I think this gun, especially on Scorch, is the most powerful gun in the game. I'm just going to say it. It's the SLC. This is held by Scorch and Ronin. As you upgrade it, you get the increased mag size, you get the hip fire accuracy, and the suppressing fire and reduced recoil. Just the best SMG in the game, best gun in the game, pound for pound, I think. It does that little 12 body damage, but it has a fire rate of 15, so it's just shredding, just gone. As you upgrade it, you get that 40 magazine size, which is nice, right? That's so nasty. If you play Scorch with this, you are going to melt people because of her I think it's called overheat, that perk that makes her shots do that burning damage as well. It's so nasty. You can't lose a 1v1 if you're competent. Nobody's gonna 1v1 you as Scorch with this weapon. Even with Ronin, it deals so much damage so quickly. He can just shred people down. Best gun in the game in my opinion. And people, that's pretty much my tier list right now. That's how I think the guns are running so far. I don't think any gun in the game is really just trash except those 2 auto shotguns. I think they need to just take those out and give them one of the guns from any of the higher tier lists, except maybe the Devotion, obviously, but something else from that, anything else from that list, and I think it'll be good. But as it is right now, they just don't do it. Let me know what you think in the game, at least what weapons you think are the strongest in the game right now, and what weapon are you enjoying? Even if it's not the strongest weapon, what weapon do you like? Like for me, the Mamba feels really good, and that's probably like my favorite gun, and it just happens to be like at the top tier for me. So in any case, people, if you made it to the end of the video, make sure to let me know down in the comments, and thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe today to become a member of the Ors Force, and we will see you in the next video or live stream. Have a good one. Peace, 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 peace.